Tony Poulos here at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Interesting this year, it's the first time I can remember a major event like this where billing has been getting such airplay, particularly by over-the-top players, emphasising how critical it's going to be for the success of their operations and working with operators in the future. I have with me today David Burks, who's the VP of Asia Pacific for Orga Systems. David, you're right at the forefront of this in Asia. What is really hot out there? Is it billing itself, or is it policy management? We're hearing a lot of requirements from operators, particularly in that space.
Well, I think in Asia and the world around, you'll see that look at where operators are spending their money, right? So they're doing advanced rollout of networks on LTE. I look at the behavior of my daughter, right? And now I communicate with her. I was on the top of in Zermatt in Switzerland the other day, the other week, and had my my Apple iPhone, with Skype, and I wanted my kids weren't with my wife and I, and wanted to show them, had connectivity, was able to get in on Skype, do a Skype call up on top of the mountain, and show the landscape to them. I know my daughter also with Facebook. She doesn't do her phone and things. She's not doing music anymore. So it's all about social networking and social communication and sharing photos. So there's a huge demand on the infrastructure now from data. And I think that the real challenge for operators in Asia Pacific is actually how they're managing that, and especially from a policy and from an enforcement standpoint, right? So they've got to understand how they can monetize that increasing demand of usage for data.
Are they being asked to provide these services to third parties as well, and MVNOs, and are they geared to do that, particularly things like order to cash and doing the policy management on behalf of other players for their customers?
So when you start to look at not only orders to cash, but then also the definition of convergence also, right? Because I think that the years ago, convergent meant one thing. These years it means something completely different. So Orga System believes that everything's going mobile, everything is connected, and everything will be in real time. So it becomes much more about transactions and events and how those are measured and monetized. And that's really the definition of convergence, because an event can be anything, and it can be, so if you look on our stand, we've got things working with utility companies, we're working with telematics, with transportation, in addition to traditional, telecom, what we might consider traditional telecom, voice and data billing.
Well, that's an interesting point, because machine-to-machine or M2M traffic is going to be taking up a lot of space on the network. What are the requirements that are driving that at the moment, and is Asia, at the forefront of it, or are they sort of lagging behind with M2M? Interestingly, I think it may vary. So we've been spending a lot of time looking at the utility industry. There's a report out by a company called Northeast about smart meters. They've told us that that there are 25 markets that are doing smart grid, smart metering type projects, and in that smart metering, there's $25 billion that'll be spent, maybe as much as $49 billion by 2020. There's another report by Pike Research that talks about smart meters rollout also. So 100 million meters will be rolled out in 2015. There'll be as many as 963 million smart meters rolled out, which is about 59% of the meters. And all of this is now suddenly data that's available to be and to be made available to customers, right? So this integration between any type of machine to machine, but it still is about information that's provided to the customer about whatever it might be. And in that case, maybe it's their usage, or what tariffs they are doing, or how they can better control that. And Asia Pacific has the opportunity of being in the lead for many of these, because they're rebuilding their infrastructure much faster than many of the traditional, more developed countries. Well, Orga Systems got a bit of a head start, because you actually are doing a lot of machine-to-machine work already with your customers, aren't you?
Yeah, that's correct. So we're doing that in the utility sector, and also then in the telematics for machine-to-machine. So, and we're very excited about that ability to go horizontally into these vertical industries.
And I'm very proud that the telecoms market is leading in that space as well.
Yeah.
David, thanks for being with me today.
No, thanks, Tony. Really appreciate it. Good to see you.